Have you ever thought about what happens to veterans once they return to their previous life in America? If you said no, don't feel bad. You're not the only one. They are neglected by our government and our society. Veterans are being treated unfairly and denied services, leading to increased suicide rates. First, according to the Center for American Progress, President Trump is cutting funds. As a result, more than 3.9 million veterans are living paycheck to paycheck. Because of this decrease in income, there is an increase in homelessness. They can't afford the help that they need. This leads to depression and lack of support, which further leads to increased suicide rates. This map shows the percentage of homeless veterans per state. 1.4 million veterans are considered at risk of homelessness due to poverty, lack of support networks, and dismal living conditions in overcrowded or substandard housing. And 70% of homeless veterans have substance abuse problems. But the government isn't doing nothing to try to support veterans. There is VA healthcare, which veterans can get services from. But according to the Washington Post, the VA has many problems, including not giving enough support and respect to female veterans, not hiring the most favorable or well-trained staff, and they're short more than 30,000 clinical staff. These are just some of the problems that returning veterans have to take on. Why not make their recovery as easy as possible? Second, the suicide hotline is not a reliable source of mental health. According to PBS, veterans are required to wait a minimum of 30 minutes. This wait time makes the hotline not a helpful or accessible source of therapy. Less than 1% of veterans are now using it. Without this cheap source of help, suicide rates will climb. Some may say that people like David Shulkin, who run it, work very hard to make it a useful outlet for veterans, but he is one of the few. According to Tim Walz, people who work there have poor training, weak leadership, and lack of clear procedures. Obviously, the system is faulty because in 4 months during 2017, the percentage of veterans using it declined from 31 to 0.1. Number 3. Drugs have presented a huge problem. A former veteran named Brian McDonald was interviewed by NPR. He says, "The troops, if they got hurt, they just shove you a bag of pills. You never got a bottle and knew what was in it. You always got a baggie." When he came home from war, his doctors kept him on opiates for his injuries. Soon after, he got deployed to Afghanistan for 2 weeks. He didn't bring enough pills, but he didn't think it'd be a problem. The 3rd or 4th day, he began to feel sick and could barely get out of bed. He went to the nearby medical assistant, who informed him that he was in withdrawal. He didn't even know that he was addicted. This, unfortunately, is not an uncommon predicament in the Army. Veterans easily become addicted, which can potentially lead to an overdose. A counter-argument is that they need the drugs to ease their pain. They're at war, so they need to be able to keep moving. It's not the medical assistant's fault. They're just trying to help. These veterans have gone to war for our country. Their addiction is a result partly of drugs that were not properly given and their PTSD. Neither of these things is their fault. Think of all the veteran lives that could be saved if we change the way they're treated when they return. Let's make them a priority and consider them when we are old enough to vote and donate to organizations that benefit them. They risk their lives for our country, so let's give back what we can. Thank you.